Good morning, Vietnam. Welcome to another episode of the Secret Filmmakers Society podcast. I'm your host, Joshua, and today we got live callers calling in. Caller number one, what's your question?
What's the best podcast mic?
Easy. You want to know what the best podcast microphone is? The Sennheiser E835. All right, thank you for calling.
Why, though?
What?
Why is it the best?
You want to know why?
Yeah, is that a problem?
Wow. No, this is just refreshing. You know, on YouTube, you make a 10-minute video and people just comment saying, "Hey, I came here for just an answer. Why am I watching a 10-minute video?" So to hear you say like you want to know my opinion to why, it's just refreshing. It's valid, refreshing. So, anyways, with that being said, I'll give you my 3 reasons why I think this is the best podcast microphone. In 3, 2, 1. All right, here we go. The 3 reasons why I think the Sennheiser E835 is the best microphone, whether that's for starting a brand new podcast, and if you are doing that, congratulations, or do you want to just maintain high quality with the podcast you already have? Well, the reason why I think this is the best microphone is, and before we even get into that, actually, let me give you some background about myself when it comes to podcasting. So I work on 2 different podcasts. I'll talk about the first podcast that I work on. I mainly shoot and I edit for. And that's The Moment That Changed Everything. You want to check that podcast out. It's geared towards the advertising community as well as just creatives in general. Seeing how my channel is about filmmaking, a lot of you guys are probably familiar with people like Alan Palander, who was actually on the podcast. We've also had Megan Ogilvy, who's an amazing photographer as well. We also had David Shore, and if you don't know who David Shore is, he wrote House. The show House. Crazy, right? There's a lot of people on there that if you're into the filmmaking world, you'll love it, as well as just like the creative world in general with people from the advertising industry, marketing, things like that. So check that podcast out, The Moment That Changed Everything. You're gonna love it and you're gonna learn a lot. So the second podcast that I work on is the one actually I created, which is called the Secret Filmmakers Society podcast. And that's a podcast where me and my co-host Wills, we just like to rant about everything to do with being a modern day digital creative, whether that's new cameras and new gear, whether that's movies, whether that's dealing with clients, a whole bunch of different stuff. So if you want to check that podcast out, the Secret Filmmaker Society podcast, it's on Spotify, Apple Music, Google, all those good things to download and listen to, as well as The Moment That Changed Everything is also on all those platforms as well. Reason number 1, it's a dynamic cardioid microphone, and that pickup pattern is something that really works well when it comes to podcasting. Now, I'm not gonna go too much into pickup patterns. You can search that on your own time, but basically what that does is, what I like to call it is it helps with noise canceling in general. That pickup pattern picks up whoever's really close to the microphone and doesn't really pick up sounds that are far away. So if you don't have the budget to have a studio where you can control all the audio and have noise canceling, then this is a microphone I think would be very, very good for you, because the pickup pattern really cancels out any other noise outside of what's in front of it. So this is something that I've loved because I can have both guests, or the host and a guest, recording, and you're not hearing that overlap back in between because they're in the same room. So I get clean audio on the guest and clean audio on the host. But if you're in an environment that's not super controlled and you're like, okay, I can't get it super quiet, this pickup pattern will really, really help you. So the pickup pattern of this microphone is one of the main reasons why I love it. The build of the microphone is very sturdy and strong. You know, it feels like you can drop it and it won't break. And it's just very well built. But this leads into my second reason why I think this is a very good microphone, is because of the versatility. It's very compact, it's small, it's phantom powered, meaning you do have to buy an external recorder like a Zoom H5, H6, the new one that's coming out, which is mainly geared towards podcasts, which looks really cool. But you're gonna need something like this to power it with the batteries. It's phantom power, so you're gonna need that and an XLR. But having that, it's such a small package to carry around. You can literally carry this to the studio. You can shoot on location. Perfect example, I actually used this microphone and shot on location for my Secret Filmmaker Society podcast. And I was filming at Chris Hughes' studio. And it was on a busy street where you can kind of hear the noise of the cars, but because of the pickup pattern of this microphone, it really cut everything out, and it was a very clean audio podcast. As well as the versatility, I was able to just bring it over there, set it up with like minimal space, and I was in and out with no trouble at all.
Something about retail, it excites me. I don't know how to put it. It's almost like having a trophy on your wall. When you have a fancy office on the 21st floor in some building that doesn't excite me. I believe like if you can stand behind your product and your service, you need a storefront, and it becomes addicting. Once you have one, you want two, and then three, and then a new store will open up. Like I have real estate agents that are like every day sending me, Chris, this should be a new store, and it's contagious. It's like Monopoly.
Next is price. So obviously, depending on where you're at, this can be a lot of money to you or this can be nothing, but it's a good upgrade and it's a good solid price, I think, for a microphone that performs so well and is so versatile. So right now, where I am in Canada, it's $129 for one of these microphones. Now, there's also an option to get a 3-pack, which is what I got, which made more sense, more microphones, and it came out to roughly around $300. So, obviously there is a discount there with getting the 3-pack over getting one. But again, this is a perfect price when jumping into podcasting or just having a very high quality microphone. Again, yes, you're gonna have to purchase other things. If you're just starting out, you're gonna need a Zoom recorder and you're gonna need some XLR cables and some good headphones. But other than that, really and truly, that's all you need to get up and running to full podcast production quality and not having to worry about buying anything else. One thing also I do, which is one step further, is taking this audio and bringing it into post and cleaning it up, EQing it, mastering it, just giving it a nice little punch, sweetening up the vocals, taking out any unwanted noise, things like that. So obviously that's an extra step that, depending on your skill level or your budget, if you can send it out to get that done, you may or may not be able to do that. But just out of the actual microphone, straight out the box, the sound you get is amazing by itself. Doing all that other stuff is obviously extra, but it will get it to a very, very, very sweet spot that will give your audio longevity where people can listen to it 5-10 years from now and it still sounds great. So those are my 3 main reasons why I believe this is the best microphone, whether you're starting out or you want to maintain and have a high quality podcast. Just to reiterate, the pickup pattern, the versatility of how compact it is and how easy it is to actually run in power. And thirdly, price. You can't beat it. So for me, these are my 3 reasons why I've used it again on these 2 podcasts. I've also used it for other stuff when it comes to just actually doing my film production work. But other than that, that's some reasons why I think it's a very good microphone. So if you're gonna start a podcast, think about picking it up. Again, you don't have to. This is not sponsored by Sennheiser at all. It's just I've used this for a very long time. Tried, trusted, and true. It's not actually like another slogan for something. It's something that I think can really help your podcast get started and also stand out. So you come out the gate swinging with a very strong audio podcast that I can go, hey, Google, play that podcast. You know what I mean?
You can ask for it by name. For example, you can say, play the latest episode of, followed by the podcast's name.
So that way, when I do say, hey, I can hear your podcast. Anyways, guys, that's all I got for you today. Those are my reasons to why I think this is a very good microphone. And I hope if you have a podcast, drop it in the comments below. I'd love to listen to it. I'm always listening to podcasts. Do what you want to do. Like this video, subscribe. I will see you guys later. Deuces.